In this video, I'm gonna share with you what I learned by failing in my dream job. Hey, what's going on everyone? Carlos here. Welcome to another vlog. On my last video, I shared with all of you how I was able to land a six-figure job despite not having a college degree, how I was able to land a job at LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn and the opportunity that was presented to me was a dream job, as you can imagine. It was an opportunity for me to work for one of the big three social networks at the time. It was also an opportunity for me to move out here to San Francisco and work within the ecosystem of Silicon Valley. What I didn't know when I took the job was just how competitive working in Silicon Valley for a major tech giant like LinkedIn would be. And I very quickly discovered that working at LinkedIn was not like any other job before the job at LinkedIn, and it was essentially working in the big leagues. Unfortunately, I was not LinkedIn for more than, I think, 4 or 5 months. I started in March and I moved on from LinkedIn to my current employer in July of the same year. So it wasn't a long-term play for me. LinkedIn uses the word play a lot. It's like a part of their whole, metaphors tied to sports. And there's a lot that I learned from the opportunity of what a lot would consider failure. I don't necessarily like to look at failure as a bad thing, provided that you learn from the circumstances. And there's been a lot of questions and doubt that naturally came up after I exited from LinkedIn, specifically as to the reasons why I left suddenly, especially because I made this big announcement when I took the job that I was gonna go work for LinkedIn. And a lot of people speculated, did I get fired? What exactly happened? So before I get into what I learned from the opportunity to go work for my dream job and it not work out, I wanna go ahead and lay it all to rest. I was not fired from LinkedIn. I resigned with a 2 weeks notice, and I moved on to another employer, which is the employer where I work today. With that being said, had I probably stayed at LinkedIn for a longer period of time, chances are I probably would have been let go, but that is just a product of the circumstance. LinkedIn was not a good fit for me, and I was not a good fit for LinkedIn. So the way I like to look at jobs and employers and employees is it's no different than any other relationship. If the relationship is not a good fit for one party or for both parties, then you have to find a way to mutually go your own separate ways. So I am forever thankful and grateful for LinkedIn and for the opportunity that was given to me. I will take full responsibility for not making the best of that opportunity. And here is what I learned. My first piece of advice is don't go into any new job overly confident or cocky, and let me explain. When I accepted my offer at LinkedIn, and before I even started on day one, I was already boasting about the job. I created a video on YouTube. I went ahead and created a whole social media campaign. There was Twitter chats, there was meerkats, there was a bunch of excitement, and naturally so, I was excited to share this amazing opportunity with the world. However, you shouldn't go into any job overly confident and excited until you're actually on the job, performing work, doing work, and most importantly, driving results. So I feel that that was a big turnoff to management and the organization. While yes, they were excited to bring me on board, I think I took it just a little way overboard with all these social media posts. So my advice to you out there, whether it's your dream job or any job, before you make a big campaign and a big deal about you going to work there, go ahead and at least get your feet wet and do the job for a month or so. And then at that point, it's okay to create an abundance of social media content. But what you don't want to do is go ahead and turn your employer off before you even get started. And don't get me wrong, guys, it's more than okay to go on Facebook and say, hey, I just started a new job today, or I'm really excited, I just accepted this job offer. But don't go the full Carlos Gil LinkedIn route where you are literally all over the map creating all this content and you haven't done anything yet. My second piece of advice is to go ahead and make allies from day one. At any company that you work for, your lifeline is dependent on those that will vouch for you or those that will stab you in the back while smiling to your face. So where I'm going with all this is from day one, get to know your peer group, get in with them, have lunch, build a rapport, ask if you can shadow them, ask if you can sit with them in meetings so you can learn directly from them. What I've learned over the years is peers love to feel like they are empowered, especially the ones that have been at an organization for a long period of time. Even if you have the same title and the same rank as them, they still want to feel like they hold some sort of rank over you because they've been with the organization for a longer period of time. So if you know this going into a situation, don't go ahead and come in, once again, cocky or confident, acting like you're better than someone, because those are the individuals that management is going to go to first and ask them, what do you think about our new hire? Did we make the right decision with him or her? What are your thoughts? And you don't want for your perception or your image to be tainted right out of the gate because you struck the wrong chord with one of your peers or with one of your teammates. So in addition to getting to shadow and know them and have lunch, ask them straight up on day one, what can I do to help you in your role? And just listen. My next piece of advice pertains to your relationship with your supervisor or with your manager. One of the mistakes that I made from day one at LinkedIn was immediately when new hire orientation was over, I waited for the organization to come to me and tell me what they needed me to do instead of me going to the organization, asking the organization what did they need for me to immediately do. And I remember being on the job for maybe about 3 or 4 days when the person that I backfilled his role sent me an email. And at the time I was a little confused by the tone because in the email he was asking, what are you doing or what have you done? And I was confused because I thought like any other job, there's like a ramp up period, at least a ramp up period of a month or a quarter. And during that time, you're being handheld and you're being taken from meeting to meeting until eventually you're given a project on a silver platter. And he told me right out of the jump, LinkedIn is the big leagues. It's high pressure, high stress. You're expected to produce from day one. So day 3 or 4, I was already going home thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not hitting the mark because I'm not asking my employer what they need me to do. So my advice to you is from day one, your first day on the job, ask your supervisor, ask your manager, ask your leadership team, what do they need from you? What are the objectives? What are the KPIs? What are they gonna be measuring you on? These are questions that you want to get answered and addressed right off the bat, because what you don't want is for them to then think, did we hire the wrong person who's not assertive? Did we hire the wrong person who doesn't have the drive? These are all things that you don't want for your management to be thinking of you. So the same way you forge relationships with your peers and with your colleagues right out of the gate is this same way that you want to go ahead and forge this same level of confidence with your management. The next piece of advice is know this: whatever got you that job is not going to be what keeps you in the job. You can have all the talent, you can have the best social media presence, you can have the best public speaking and interviewing skills, you can have the best results from previous employers. Think about it. That's what got you in the role. In my case, these are all the things that brought me to the table, but they weren't what kept me in the role. So my advice to you is to constantly be looking for ways that you can remold yourself into what the company's expectation is of their employees. Get to really study the company culture and be a fit for the company culture. Oftentimes you hear this, and I know when I was at LinkedIn, I heard this question come to me, or this phrase was said more than 1 or 2 times, which is, we question if you are a fit for our company culture. And it's a very tough pill to swallow, because when you hear that, you're immediately thinking, what's wrong with me? And it's not that there's something wrong with you, but it's more or less you are your own certain way. You do things a certain way, you communicate and come across a certain way, and companies don't always necessarily see it from that angle, nor do they have to, because again, they're paying you a check to show up and perform and drive results, not for you to go ahead and do things your own certain way. So get to understand company culture. Ask in the interview process, ask this #1 golden question, and then just shut up and listen to whatever the person in front of you has to say. Ask the question, tell me about your company culture, and listen. Ask that question of HR, recruiting, your hiring manager, peers that you're gonna work with. Ask and just listen to see what they say about the company culture. If they use buzzwords like collaboration, results driven, assertive, entrepreneurial, these are all keywords that you wanna pick up on, and very quickly you want want to adapt to what the company's expectations are. So if they're saying collaboration and teamwork is a big part of our company culture, you best believe that from day one, you need to start finding ways to work with other people and not sit by yourself at lunch, not have, meetings over the phone when you can meet with someone, not isolate yourself from the team, but actually collaborate. So company culture is very important. Once again, I unfortunately at LinkedIn fell into this trap, if you want to call it a trap, or just a reality that I was, told by individuals throughout the corporation that didn't feel that I was an ideal fit. So once again, this isn't something that you necessarily know of a candidate when they are interviewing for the job, because you come in as a candidate, you're really excited, you're saying all the right things, you're like, yeah, I fit in here, or I can do this, I can do that, and you're making all these promises and you're over promising, and hopefully you over deliver when you actually get the job. But once again, what gets you the job is not going to be what keeps you on the job, and what's going to keep you on the job is not just the results that you drive, but it's also adapting and molding to that company culture. The last thing that I learned from failing in my dream job, and the most important, is that it is okay to fail. Guys, it took me months to get over the fact that I took this high profile job that I was really excited about, that I told everyone about, and then it was gone. It took me months. I fell just into this black hole of, feeling like a failure, rejected. I moved my family all the way across the country to California, and it didn't work out. And it took a while for me to get over it. What I learned by the time I did get over it is that in life, in business, in your career, in your relationships, you're gonna fail. It's not a matter of if, you will. I guarantee you, no matter how successful and talented you are, you will fail at some point, because things will not work out in the manner that you set out and intended for it to work out. But that's okay, because what you learn and acquire through that failure are what people refer to as the life lessons, or the major keys, or the keys to success. These are things that you have to go through, so then you can self-reflect and introspectively really sit down and think, why did this not work out? And I can assure you that even though I spent a very short period of time working for LinkedIn, I'm a much better person, and I am a much better professional now than I was before this experience ever happened, because I did go through this experience. Anywhere I work for the rest of my career, I will know exactly what to do from the time I interview to the time I start, all the way on through carrying the job out. These are things that I have to do because I didn't do them well before. It cost me a dream opportunity. It's gone, but you have no choice but to move on, onward and upward. And I also learned throughout this entire experience that when one door closes, another one opens. So that job didn't work out. I was still in the Bay Area. I was able to rebound, get into another job where I've been now there almost 2 years, and I love the job. I love the company. They like me and support me, and life's great. But again, none of this would have happened if I didn't first take a job that was perceived to be a dream job and not work out. So my biggest piece of advice above everything is that it is okay to fail. And if you do fail, you know what? It's gonna take some time for you to lick your wounds and get over it. But I guarantee you, you will be a lot stronger when you come through it on the other side than when you got into it. That's a wrap, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and most importantly, hopefully it gave some really good perspective to a lot of you out there that over the last couple of years have wondered, why the hell did this guy leave LinkedIn? Now you exactly know the reasons why, because it wasn't just one reason, but you know the reasons why. And hopefully this video can serve as light to anyone and everyone out there that is either in a job right now that they're thinking, maybe this isn't for me, what do I do next? Maybe you're getting ready to start your dream job, or maybe you're just right now looking for work, and hopefully this video can serve as a guide of what to do on day one. Until next time, guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the social medias. Peace.